Hey, everybody. Welcome to HabNormals. Thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Rick. All right, we've got a good episode for you tonight. I am solo once again this week. Matt couldn't make it, so he'll be back next week, so no worries there. All right, so I think I've got a good episode for you tonight. I'm actually stealing this episode, the everything I'm doing in this episode, stealing it from this podcast here, Flyer Gonna Flyer, which I direct and I co-produce. Um, yeah, I thought it was a good agenda. What they had on their last episode. By the way, you can go to Don't Puck with Media. That's their sister channel, and check out that episode. And so, what we're going to talk about tonight, well, I am, and that's going to be what I'm excited about. Three things that I'm excited about for the upcoming season from the team. Also going to talk about three things I'm worried about for the team. And then I'm going to do a little over under. So I've got 10 players. I'm going to give an over under for their points totals. And I'm going to tell you if I think they're going to go over or under. And then for that one, I would appreciate it if you guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think, what your over unders are for these players. So I'm going to do that. And then I am going to give you the year where I think Montreal will be a legitimate cup contender. So which season I think they're going to be a legitimate cup contender. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So like I said, this is a podcast shirt from Flyer Gonna Flyer. My hat is podcast hat for this podcast, and so is my mug, by the way, Talking Habs, and it's full, so I don't want to spill anything. And HabNormals podcast on the logo there. So these are available at that link down there. And this is August. I'm recording this August 10th, and we are running a promotion for this month and for the rest of this month. And that is you will get 10% off of your order of 2 items or more and minimum of $50 or more. And so that's all of August. And you just need to use this code here. You go to the store and use the code August10, and you'll get 10% off of your order. And you just have to go to that link down there on the bottom, Talking Habs Media shop.fourthwall.com/EN-CAD. I don't think you have to put the CAD part, but it takes you to the Canadian so it'll give you all the prices in Canadian. If you're from the U.S., just change it to the U.S. That's all. All right. So, check that out. Check out the store and use the code August10 for a 10% discount. And join the club and help keep this channel running. And, hey, help keep my dog Ray and my 2 cats fed. All right. So I'm going to talk about 3 things that I'm excited about for the Montreal Canadiens in this season. It's not even really upcoming season. We're in 25-26 season now. Basically, it's still the off season, but when we're talking about the season, it's this season, not upcoming and not next. All right, so it was easier to come out with 3 things I'm excited about than 3 things I'm worried about. And it's probably the first year in a few that you could say that I had to, I don't know if it's a stretch on my 3 worried things, but it wasn't easy to come up with them because I'm not as worried about, what's going to happen coming up in this season. All right. So the first thing that I'm excited about is, even though I was really pumped last season, I thought they were going to have, they ended up having the kind of season I thought they would, but it didn't look like they were going to. But this season, I'm confident and excited about the fact that I think this is going to be a winning team. I don't think this is going to be a team that, sure, at points in the season, every team struggles a little bit, so they'll have their moments. But I think overall, this is going to be a winning team. They're going to have a winning record. I'm not saying they're going to win the cup. I'm not saying they're going to win their division. But I am saying I believe this is a playoff team, and this is a winning team. They'll have a winning record, and they'll be a winning team. And it's the first, like I said, in about 3 seasons, I guess, that you can going into the season that you could be excited about that, not worried about what we're going to get. Are they going to be good enough? I think this is a good enough team to make the playoffs. I mean, they might have to get in by a wild card, sure. I personally don't think so, but I mean, it's very possible, obviously. But I believe they'll be a playoff team, and I'm really excited to see to just to have that feeling going into the season, not of dread, of excitement for what we're gonna see. So that's really exciting for me. The next one is one I don't think anybody would be expecting me to say, and that is actually the play of Sam Montembeault. I and you guys who watched me for a long time, I've always been, I mean, pretty much always have been. What's the word I want to look? Or not look, say positive about Monty. Um, I've thought for a long time that he's underrated and this guy's going to be a good goalie. Now, he is, because you look at his numbers, he was fourth in the league last year in goals saved above expected. He is a top 15 goalie as of last season. I think he'll improve on that. I'm really excited to see what Sam Montembeault is going to deliver this season for Montreal. I think with the backup that he's got, Jacob Dobish is going to play enough games to give Monty a little bit of a break, from like last year. I think he played 62 games. I think he'll play somewhere in the low 50s. It'll. I just expect really solid play from Monty. I really like Monty as a goalie. I really do think he's underrated. I kind of think after this season, though, I don't know if he's going to be underrated anymore. I think he's going to emerge as one of the, I'm going to say, top goalies in the league. I can hear people laughing at me. I can hear some people laughing at me. Listen, Monty's a good goalie. His numbers reflect that. He's going to have a better defense in front of him. He's going to have a better overall team in front of him, better offense, all that. It's going to show in his numbers. His play, I think there's games where he's been spectacular. There's games where he's been off. The odd one where it's him, and then there's games where he doesn't look great because of the defense that's been in front of him. So I'm really excited to see what Monty's going to show us this year, and to prove that, hey, I believe Monty can be a top 10 goalie in this league. I do believe that, and it's his job to prove it. I think he will. I'm excited to see what Monty's going to bring us. Again, let me know in the comment section what you think about what I'm saying. And, at the same time, what are you guys excited about? So let me know. So the last thing I'm excited, well, it's not the last thing, but it's the third one I've got here. And it's two, I'm kind of combining two players. And that's the play of Ivan Demidov and Lane Hudson in his second season. So for Ivan Demidov, we only got him for 2 games in the regular season and a few in the 5 games in the playoffs. But it's the regular season. I want to see what he looks like in a full season. He's going to be obviously a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, he had his 2 games, but he also had 5 playoff games. And, 5 playoff games is significant enough to get your feet wet in the league, know what to expect for next season, and be able to prepare yourself for next season. With a better knowledge of what it takes to be an NHL player and to play an 82-game schedule, which I don't think he's ever played before. So we'll see how he's affected by that. It's his rookie season. He's going to be competing for a Calder Trophy. He's the favorite going in for the Calder. I also really want to see if we can at all compare his season with Matvei Michkov's rookie season last season. And the only reason really is because of a little rivalry between me and Alex of the Flyer Gonna Flyer Up podcast, because it's Flyers, so they're big on Michkov. I believe we got the better player in Demidov, and I think he's going to prove it with a better rookie season. I just think we're going to see a better rookie season from Demidov than we saw from Michkov. Now, I'm not trying to knock Michkov. I'm really not. I think Michkov kind of impressed me last season. Over not when I watched him though, like when they played Montreal, I didn't really see him impressed. I wasn't impressed with his play really that much. I didn't. I didn't think he'd have it in him for the post Four Nations play where he elevated his play. And I mean, at the end, I was kind of pissed at him every time he'd score or get a point because I really wanted, obviously, Hudson to win the Calder, and he was making a little push for it at the end. So, yeah, I'm excited to see if Demidov has a better season. For Lane Hudson, I want to see if there's a sophomore jinx there, right? If there's any fall off from the first to the second season. I don't believe there will be. I'm excited to see what kind of points total this kid can get in his second year. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's a point a game player. I don't think he really will be, but I think he's not going to be far off. So I don't think he's going to hit a point a game this season, but I do think he will be in that ballpark though. How close? I don't know. So I'm really excited to see what Lane Hudson's going to deliver, how much improvement there is to his game. Has the league figured him out? I mean, that's a possibility too, right? He struggles because, they know what's coming a little bit better. So that's a challenge for him. Can he overcome that? I mean, to some extent, he's going to have to, right? He's going to, I think he's fully capable. This kid is not a flash in the pan. He's not. That wasn't his career high. That's not that last season, his first season. It's not going to be his career high. Yeah, so I'm really excited for those three things. I don't know what I can add to that, but let me know again. Let me know what you think, especially with Demidov and Hudson. I'd like to know what you guys think. How excited are you for what we're gonna hopefully see from these two guys, and how much improvement in their game, and how much they are going to help improve the team and where they're going to end up. All right, so it's probably going to be a quick episode because I'm alone. What worries me about the team? There's not really a lot. I'm going to be very honest. There's not a lot. I'm going to try to decide what I'm going to lead off with. I'm going to lead off with, I'll do it in order of what I got here. So my worry about Patrick Laine, and it's not necessarily about his play. It's really not. As a matter of fact, he's very confident. If you saw a quote from him that, saying to the fans, if you bet against me, you're going to lose your money. I like that confidence. I don't know that he'll deliver fully on that or not, but I like the confidence. I like the attitude of that going into the season for him, instead of being, I just like that confidence, be that way, walk the walk and talk the talk, and and put up when push comes to shove. I'm full of cliches tonight. So, but my worry for Laine is this: as the season came to a close, or at the final part of the season, Laine kind of became the new whipping boy. It seems Montreal fans have to have a whipping boy. It's not going to be Brendan Gallagher, because Brendan Gallagher earned that by his play last season, in my opinion. So not the whipping boy this season. He had been, because of his contract mostly and the injuries and all that. Who was the whipping boy? Josh Anderson. But again, Anderson had a really good season last year, played the role that he was assigned well. His points totals weren't horrible for the role he played, especially, but he played that role well. There's no doubt he overcame that whipping boy status. My opinion, he did definitely for me. Not that I was big on bashing Anderson. So who's going to be that whipping boy this year? I can't think of anybody on the team really. Like I thought about it. Is Laine going to be that guy? I think it's going to be Laine if he struggles. right? So it's kind of like it's a catch-22, right? If he struggles, he becomes the whipping boy, but it makes him more depressed or whatever, and he can't get out of the struggle. So I hope that's not something that happens. Um, I do think Liney's going to have a good season, though. So I don't know, but he could struggle at times, and say if it's early, he struggles early on, and the fans come down on him hard. Does he get out of that? I don't know. So I'd like to see the best for Line. I think a Line that's performing well, that's confident, that's scoring could only be good for Montreal. So I'm worried that the fans might make him a whipping boy. Um, Another thing I'm really worried about, because as you can hear what I'm saying, I'm excited for the season. Anytime that Montreal, there's that excitement for Montreal, and before anything, can change that excitement, it's always great for the channel. And so that I'm like, every year, the last few been like that, and then something happens, and it's so I'm worried about that something's going to derail. Something's going to go wrong and derail the season. Um, for both. I mean, I'm obviously for the channel, but as a fan, I'm so excited for the season. I don't want that disappointment, of a major injury. Knock wood, that doesn't happen. Um, Players just not performing for some reason, something to derail the season. I'm worried about that. I don't really. It's not a huge worry, honestly, but it's happened the last three almost. It feels like it. It's probably not, but it feels like it, and I just don't want it again because things have been kind of rough. Um, you know, from the teams, from their performance and everything, and it affects the channel. So from both senses of being a fan and the channel, I'm worried about that. So I hope nothing goes wrong to derail the season. Let's put it that way. My third one, and I had to think about this because I couldn't find the third one. I was gonna go with two and go like I just don't have three things that I'm that worried about. But I thought of it the last minute, actually, just before I sat down to actually record. Um, Last season the PK was really good. It was a top 10, or it was in the top 10. It might have been the number 10 PK. They were killing at a penalty killing at a clip of like 80 point something. Um, Savard, David Savard retired. Yoel Armia is in LA, and Christian Dvorak is in Philadelphia. Three guys from the number one unit are gone. So, are they going to be as good? Because it's important. The special teams can be, you have bad special teams. Your chances of being a winning team making the playoffs are kind of, aren't there. I'm not really worried about the power play. With some of the guys that have come in, Dobson, you got Bolduc, who I think will be on the second unit. Demidov, full season there. I'm not really worried about power play, but the PK worries me because I don't want it to fall back into that, because it's important. Bad PK could mean a difference of a number of wins every season. It could mean the difference of making the playoffs or not in the end, just missing out on a wild card or whatever. So, yeah, the PK not being as good as last season is a worry. I do think that there's good enough players here. Like Evans will I think Evans might have been on that first PK. Uh, I'm blanking on the names of the guys that would step up, but I imagine a couple guys from the second unit from last year will step up to the first unit, and then we got there's some good potential there to fill out both units with the guys that are here. I'm just worried about whether it's going to be good enough. So that's something that's big because it is big. So, anyways, those are my worries. Those are my reasons for being really excited for the season. Um, so we're going to move on because I got nothing else to really add to that. And I don't really, I have no other worries that I can think of. And I racked my brain there for about 20 minutes before I sat down. Like, what am I really worried about? And I'm not worried about that much. There's a lot more I'm excited about, but I limited myself to three. Let me know again in the comment section what worries you about going into this season and what you're excited about going into the season. All right, that's going to lead me into over under. Now, I have done a points prediction video. That one didn't get a lot of I don't think got a lot of views. So a lot of you might not have actually seen that, so that's fine. Whether you saw it or not doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do here is I've got 8 players. I've got an overlay for each player. It has their last year's totals, and my I forget what's on there. Let me think. Yeah, last year's totals, and then what I'm giving for the over under, like the where I draw the line, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to remember all the points totals I had. I didn't write them down. Some of them I do remember, obviously, from my points prediction video. I'll try to give them. We're going to start with, actually, don't look at that because I changed the order. We're going to start with newcomer Zach Bolduc. Zach Bolduc last season for St. Louis had 36 points. I believe it was 19 goals and 17 assists. So you could say and I'm giving him 48.5 points. That's the over under 48.5. You could say you're really expecting him to get a lot more points, and I am. It was his rookie season last year. He's going to probably have more responsibility this year. I kind of think he's going to be on the second line. His ice time is going to be. He's going to have ice time. He's going to have opportunity. So I gave it 48.5 points for the over under. For Bolduc, I'm giving him over because I think he's going to come just a little bit over that. I think I gave him 52 points. So I think he gets 50 plus points, I'm going to say. So just a little bit, a hair over. I think he has what I hope is not a career year for him in the long run, but will be obviously in his second full season, a career year. But I don't think I think he's got more in him than that. But I do think he's got potential, especially playing on the second line. With ice time to get those points. He's going to probably be on the second power play unit. He'll be playing more than likely with, as it looks right now, I'm figuring with Doc and Demidov. I kind of think that's how it's going to line up. Depending on Doc, I know I did a video about it. I think I bought into a bad story, but we'll see. Because it looks like Doc will be ready for camp and everything looks good. So, yeah, I think he's fully capable to beat that. And then, like, if he doesn't, I don't think he'll be far under 48 points. I don't think so. He might just get 48, but I don't think he'll be far under if he doesn't hit it. And I think he will get over that. All right, next we're going to go with the aforementioned Patrick Laine. Patrick Laine last season in 50 odd games. I don't remember exactly how many games. 57, I think. Had 33 points, 20 goals, 13 assists. I'm giving him for over under, and you probably say, well, 33 points last year. That's a high over under, 55.5 points. Now, the thing is, depends where he plays, right? If he is a second line winger and it's not Bolduc there, then I think he can definitely get close to that, if not go over that. I mean, he's had seasons where 40 goals and 30 assists, I think he had. Now, it's been a while, right? And he's had a lot of injuries and he hasn't had a full season in a long time. All right. So, 55.5 points. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under. And it's not because I think he's going to play bad. I just think Liney's first of all, I think he's going to be, honestly, I think he's going to be on the third line wing. I think he's going to be getting a lot of his points, especially his goals, on the power play. He hasn't really been a guy to get a ton of assists. At least he didn't here. Yeah, I think he'll miss some games. He seems to have that history that he might miss 15, 20, 30 games in a season. It seems to be, you just look at his numbers over the last few years, the games played numbers. Yeah, I think he's going to be under. I don't think he's going to be far under, though. I'll say this. I don't think he's going to be far under, but I kind of think he's going to be under that total. And don't forget, let me know in the comments what you guys think about these. All right, so that's Patrick Laine. Next up is I was going to do 6 guys, so this guy wasn't on my list. A top 6 player still, though. I think I have everybody's pretty much top 6. Pretty much, or defenseman. So it's Juraj Slafkovsky. So Slav last season had 51 points, beating his season total before that, the season before, by 1. And, came in just kind of under the wire. It didn't look like he was going to do that, but good on him that he at least did that. I put his over-under at 59.5 points. He's part of line 1. Line 1 last season, believe it or not, was the number 1 line in the NHL. So, and he was definitely part of that. I think he's going to be part of that again. So for Slav, I think 59.5 is fair to have as the over-under number. I think he goes over. I don't think he's going to go over that by much, though. But I don't think it's out of the question to expect that Slav will probably get about 10 points more than last season. That's really about where I'm really thinking of. I don't remember my number in my points prediction. I'll be very honest. It might have been about 65. So I think he goes about 10, maybe if it's a really good season, a little bit more than that. I don't think it's like it's going to come down to the wire. And on the last game of the season, he just goes over the 51 points that he had last season. So I think 59.5 is fair. And he's going to get just over that. All right, next up is going to be our newly acquired defenseman, Noah Dobson. Noah Dobson last season had 39 points. I don't remember the breakdown on goals and stuff. I think it was 10 goals, 29 assists. Does that sound right? The season before, I believe he had that 70-point, 10-goal, 60-assist season. So I gave him an over-under of 59.5 as well. I don't think that's crazy. I think he's going to be playing here top pairing. He's going to get a ton of minutes. I think he's going to be on the number 1. Well, he might be quarterbacking the second unit of the power play, but he's going to get a lot of power play time. He's going to get a lot of opportunity and a lot of chances to score, to put up points. So I gave him 59.5. I don't think that's unfair. I'm going to give him over. But again, I think just over. I called for him to have 60 points in my point prediction. So that would call for it to be over, but barely. And if he fell just under, I don't think that's a bad season. So that's okay, but I hope he goes over it. But I mean, if he just falls off, I still don't think it's a bad season. I think he's going to get a good bit more than his 39 points last season. And so there you go. I'm going just over. All right, who's up next? Oh, it looks like our captain, Nick Suzuki, is up next. Nick Suzuki had 89 points last season, and I had predicted 90. I was only off by 1. Yeah, so I'm giving him an over-under of he's going to get more, in my opinion. of 94.5. I don't think that's ridiculous to think that Nick Suzuki could get 5 or 6 points more as a minimum than he got last season. If the second line, especially if the second line is decent to good, that takes a lot of pressure off that first line and opens up the ice a little bit for him. He's going to be on the first power play unit. He may be on one of the PK units as well. So I hope he's not getting overplayed. He's going to have a lot of ice time, and he's going to have plenty of opportunity to put up points. 94.5. In my points prediction, I gave him 100. So I'm going over. I gave him 100. Now, remember, I was only off by 1 last year. So I think I know what I'm talking. No, I mean, it's a guess still. But I do believe Nick Suzuki can get 100 points this year. If he doesn't, I don't think he's going to be far behind that, though. So, yeah, over on the 94.5. And don't forget, let me know what you think about that. All right. Nick Suzuki. Well, we'll get to the next, the third member of that first line, and that is the diminutive winger, goal scorer Cole Caulfield. Cole Caulfield last season had 70 points. I'm going to give him an over-under of 74.5. I think there is definitely room to grow there with points. And he had 33 assists last year. Cole Caulfield's game has rounded out. He's not just a goal scorer. He can play make. He can be a playmaker. So I think that 70 points, I think I gave him 80. So you know that I'm going over here. I think I gave him 80. My 80 was 43 goals, 37 assists. So I think he goes over 40 goals, and I think he goes over 74.5 points. Next up, where am I getting into? All right, so the 3 big names. No, I guess I'm down to 2. I'm down to 2 names. The 2 biggest names, the 2 guys I'm most excited to see this coming season, and we're going to start with the second-year guy, and that is defenseman Lane Hudson, who had a whopping and not records, well, for Montreal record setting, but not for the league, but right up there, number 4 or I don't know if it was 4, 5, or 6 best points totals for a rookie defenseman in the NHL with 66 points, 6 goals, 60 assists. I'm giving him an over-under of 74.5 points. Now, if he has a bad sophomore year, it'll be an under. But I'm not expecting that. I'm not expecting. I'm not really expecting him to be a point per game player, but I'm expecting him to improve on that 66 points. But how much does he improve? I believe in my video I gave him 73 points. So surprisingly, I'm going to go with an under here, but not by much. Not by much, and it is not going to shock me if he goes over by a bit. So, but I'm going with an under here, 72 or 73 points. I don't remember if I gave him 72 or 73, but that's what I think he does get. So he's going to come damn close, but unfortunately, it's going to be an under for Nick Suzuki. I'm really out of it for Lane Hudson, and I was originally going to go over, and so I forgot to change it, so I just rewrote it and wrote over again. So maybe I do want to go over, but no, I'm going to go under here for Nick Suzuki. Let me know what you think in the comments. So I guess you can figure out who this last one is, and that is our rookie and hopefully rookie of the year, Calder Trophy winner. Second year in a row we'd get a Calder Trophy. That would be awesome. I do believe even if he doesn't win it, he will be right there as a finalist at very least, and that obviously is Ivan Vanya Demidov. By the way, I believe Ivan is John in Russian, so Vanya is Johnny, basically, I believe. When they call him Vanya, it's Johnny, because I believe Ivan is John. So Ivan Demidov last season had 2 points. I don't remember. He had 49, I think, in the KHL. So essentially, you can say 51 points. But he had 2 points in the NHL in just 2 games. So, I mean, it's a point a game. So I'm giving him 64.5 points as his over-under. I now I'm kind of blank. I'm kind of remembering. I don't know if I gave Hudson 78 or 73, or I gave Demidov 73 or 78. 64.5 points. Yeah, I'm going over. I think he's going to have a better rookie season than Michkov. I think Michkov had 61. I think he's going to go over 64.5. I think he's even going to go over it by 5. I want to. You're going to laugh at me if I say 5 to 10 points, but why not? I go for broke. He's going to go over it by 5 to 10 points, in my opinion. So it's an over for me for Demidov on 64.5 points. Once again, let me know what you thought, what you think about those over-unders that I gave, and what you would change them to if it were you up here doing this. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Thanks to Alex for coming up with this for his show, and thanks to me for being smart enough to steal it from him. So I hope you guys like that. I'm going to do the final thing now. When should the Montreal Canadiens, well, I think legitimately is not the word I wanted here. When realistically should the Montreal Canadiens be considered legitimate cup contenders? Now, it's speculation because, I mean, I don't know the future, but you can look at what's building, the players that have arrived, that are arriving, that will arrive in the next few years. Now, I don't expect them to be cup contenders this upcoming season, obviously. I expect them to be playoff contenders for the next 2 or 3 years. I really think cup contenders, you can't really look at that and say, oh, yeah, next season, the season after. No, but 27-28, I think 27-28 could be the first year that we'll say they're cup contenders this year. Going in, we're going to feel that they are cup contenders. It may be the next season, 28-29, but this is what I think. I've heard this theory before. Teams that rebuild and get to that kind of territory where they're cup contenders, usually their first star players in their rebuild need to get to about 28. Say 27-29. So in my mind, Nick Suzuki is the first of the young stars that arrived here. Nick Suzuki should be 28. I want to say in 27-28 that year. Nick Suzuki will be that age. Dobson. There's a few of them that are going to be up in that 27-29 year range. That's the year that they become contenders. Will they win the cup that year? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, yeah, they're going to be cup contenders by the time Nick Suzuki hits 28. I believe he's 25 right now, so that means to me 27-28. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all I got. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget, August at the store down there. The link is down there for the store, for your merch, for your Habs merch, for the other channels merch, for the other shows merch. Get a mug, become part of the group, take a membership, and help support the channel. And hey, help feed Ray and my 2 cats, because they need to eat every day. So appreciate that. And that's it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. Have a great week. And, well, we'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you next week for HabNormals. Matt should be back for next week. And I don't know what's going to happen this week, but if something happens, I'll bring it to you. Ciao, everybody. Have a great week. Swagger!
down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.